It's gotten to the point that the planet is now evolving enough. The the DNA of people are changing. The DNA of the planet is changing. This had to happen. This was had to happen in this lifetime for all those who have come here to be able to experience this and see this. There are many others who are also waiting here for this. They came here for this. They've been lucky enough to be here for this, and they're waiting for this to happen. So everybody that knows this, that came here for this reason, is just feeling very much on edge right now, as was spoken, because it's the time has come, and is it going to happen? That's what everybody's waiting to see. We see it happening. We see the direction going. It's beyond the point where it can go back again. We've gone over the hump, and it's going forward. So that's where everybody is hoping we will be, and that's where we're at. So yes, to answer the question, the past lives were very important because it parallels this lifetime of coming back and trying it again, but this time it will be seen through.
Along those lines, she didn't ask this question, so hopefully it's okay with her that I asked this question.
Mm-hmm.
But is there anything that she needs to know, or light workers in general need to know, about this change taking place? Will it be seen? Will it be soon? Is there anything that we need to know or that we can know to encourage us at this time?
This is being worked on for quite a long time for this event, as you call it, to happen. Mm-hmm. There are many on the other side that are working to make this as gentle a transition as possible. There are different timelines, and there was a timeline in the past that it was not going to be as a gentle. It was going to be a shifting of poles, or a shifting of a great significance to the planet. That was on more of a negative timeline, but timelines switched, and now we're on a much more positive timeline that will take this into the future in a much gentler fashion. And we're working very hard on this new timeline now to be of more compassionate and gentle to the planet and those in it. There will be those that will not be, the vibration of the planet is raising very quickly. We are working on also raising the vibration of the people, the DNA changing and the raising of the vibration of the people within living on the planet that has to be kept up to the vibration of the planet for the moving, where it's going to a higher vibration. So all of this is being worked on and being very closely monitored. There are many very closely monitoring this off planet, very closely here to the planet, that are monitoring this and helping. They're obstructing when needed to get in the path of anything that might be destructive. So there's a lot of help out there for this to happen, but we still can't help but feel the effects of this. The effects are very strong and are affecting people in many different ways. There are those that will not be able to handle the strong effects and will choose to go off planet, suicide, accidents, whatever means they want to leave the planet. But there's going to be much of that happening for those that have chosen not to be here for this, that cannot handle the vibration. The rest are going through this at a speed that is becoming very stronger, much stronger, and it's happening quicker, and so everybody is working at a soul level of trying to keep up with this. It's a interesting place to be. It's being worked on. So on this new timeline, it's being worked on very, very closely and very carefully, that again, the transition is a gentle one. The transition is not violent. The transition is not going to be the end of the planet or the things that it could have been on another timeline. So know that there is much help out there. There is much help that's being done. There are major solar flares going on, coming out of the sun, that are being diverted. If they're too strong for this planet and for the people on the planet, they're being diverted. They're being helped to be diverted to another direction, so they don't hit directly on this planet. And so there's a lot of things that are being done to protect and to help. So know that is a very good thing, and know that there's going to be huge shifts, very, very big shifts in everything on this planet. Everything is going to shift. Everything is going to change. But that's all due to the fact that the stronghold that the negative had on this planet is starting to loosen up and just fade away. It's happening, and it's going to be a very different place to live very soon. It's hard to give a time because free will and things happen and things change, but we see that very, very soon things will start changing. It's being noticed now. People are waking up to the changes that are happening. People are slowly starting to see that things are not what they think they were. Things are not the way they thought they were. History is not what history was taught. People are more than ever, the veil is thinning, and people are starting to be able to grasp this concept. But there's more work to be done. Light workers are in place all over the planet to be able to pick up the pieces for when this starts to happen and when it really starts to get seriously into the core of this. And that's when the light workers will have their work to do. They'll have their work cut out for them to explain to others what is happening, why it is happening. They need to gear up for this. They need to be ready for this, and this is what we're working on also.
How can the light workers gear up and get ready for this? What types of things specifically would be beneficial?
It's very important now in time for those that can to go within, to do whatever, whether it be meditation or whatever way that they can. And again, we go back to the heartfelt. It has to come from the heart. It is a very an individual, inward situation, feeling. So interesting. The speaking is not necessarily where we need to be right now, of talking so much about it or verbalizing all of this. It's internal. It's going to be an internal thing. You are going to be able to internally create your reality. So it's going to be important for you to, each individual, and I speak to you, we speak to you personally, to to reach that place inside that you know exists at a soul level, that is going to be able to communicate outward to those that are looking to communicate off planet. They're now they're saying that now there's beings starting to look now to communicate with those that want to communicate with them. So the only way they're going to be able to do that is if you come from pure of heart inward and ask for this, and ask for, for the benevolent, the good beings to be able to communicate with you. And this is going to start happening more and more around the planet. So it's just a matter of going inward. There's nothing outward you have to do. If a neighbor comes to you and asks what's happening, if they get nervous or worried, yes, that's a time to speak and say, yes, this is what's happening, to whatever level they can understand it and not be upset by it. But that is part of this. So if people come to you or ask or want to know, it's very gently and lovingly try to explain what is happening in the best way you can for them. Mm-hmm. That's going to be very important for people to do, but it's also very important to go inward.
Okay.
And to have this come from a very inward, personal place, and ask for what it is that you want. Ask what it is you want to do, what you want to be. It's a very, very good time for that to be answered.
Well, that's very helpful. That's very, very helpful. Thank you. Perfect. Yeah, that's great. So, yeah. Okay, thank you. So she also kind of backtracking a little since we got a little off track there. She's always felt a very strong connection with Nostradamus. Why? Did she know him? She wants to know.
Yes, in that lifetime, she had a lifetime where he was, interesting. It's another example that she saw of those that tried to speak their truth and speak their mind and were looked at as being crazy. They knew each other. They knew of each other and they knew each other. This was again the lifetime where she was pretty well known for being out there and being, battling, so to speak, the darkness, the evildoers, so to speak. So she was known, and he was known for what he was doing, and that she or he in that lifetime saw what ridicule Nostradamus received from telling his truth and foreseer, so to speak, and being able to see the future and being able to see what was happening. He was saying things that people just thought was crazy, and some would listen, but most wouldn't. Most would just write him off as being, insane. So that again was another big part of this effect on her of doing this work, of coming into this lifetime and doing this work, knowing and seeing all the bad things that can happen to people who were just not believed or not accepted in the society of doing this. But she sees again that this is getting better. It's getting a lot more accepted and better, and it's important to continue on with the work. But yes, so to answer that question, she did know of him. They were acquaintances, not necessarily close, but they knew of each other because of what they each did and what they were each trying to do for society at that time.
Okay, that's very helpful. Would it be beneficial for her in any way to know exactly who she was in that lifetime?
No, it would be nobody that you would know per se. It was just in that world at that time. He was known to be a strong battler against the evil.
Okay.
Not anybody necessarily famous that you would know the name, but it was just in that time period, somebody who people knew was working hard to, and people didn't understand it then either. They didn't understand what evil, they didn't really understand where this was coming from, the deeper meaning. They knew that the Dark Ages was a dark place, and they knew that they were suppressed, but they didn't know the real deep levels behind it, whereas he did, and was there to try to help with others. But yeah, no, it wasn't anybody that she just for her to know what her role was at that time is important.
Okay, perfect. So backtracking a little bit again, and this may have been answered already, but will we be successful this time in liberating the planet? Will we get to see this happen?
We say yes, that absolutely things are shifting, things are changing as we speak. It is happening. The everything is shifting, everything is changing. It seems right now like a slow process. People have been waiting for this for quite a while, but it's in reality, in our reality, it's not slow at all. It's happening very quickly. There are still battles to be fought, both on planet and off planet. The dark, negative evilness is so very, very strong. It's been a battle for quite a while, for quite a long time. It's been a battle, and the battles are being won by the good, but the war is still going on. So there are other battles to be fought, but battle after battle, checking off, clicking off each battle as being a win is a really good thing. And so it's a matter now of winning the war, so to speak.
Yeah.
And they're well on the way to doing that. They're well on the way to, again, going over that hump that it could have gone either way. The timeline could have gone either way, but now we're over into the new timeline that shows it being a very positive, winning, no matter what. There's so many obstacles in the way, and there's so many things the negative, the evildoers, so to speak, are putting in the way of trying to stop this from happening, because it's towards the end now. It's getting stronger and stronger, and the stronger it gets, the more they're losing their grip, and they see that, and they don't know how to handle it. So there could be more turmoil. There could be more situations that are being put upon the planet to stop this, but it's not going to be able to be stopped because it's in full motion. The full motion of the planet, the full motion of the people, the full motion of the light workers, everything's moving in the right direction, full speed ahead, so to speak. So there's really no stopping this from happening at this point. It's going to happen. When we want to say soon, but we can't give an exact time because there are always other obstacles being put in place that have to be conquered before you can completely move on. So again, they're showing me the battles being fought and won, but there's still some more obstacles in the way that have to be. But this is happening quickly. It's time. It's time for everybody. We want to just let everybody know that it's time for everybody to start doing their work. We talk about going inward, and doing your inward work and being more by yourself, because it's a personal thing that it's good to connect with others and to speak with others. It's very important, but it's also very important to take that time to start doing the work that you're supposed to be doing. Everybody needs to start doing that now. We can't stress that enough, for being the fact that time is speeding up here. Things are going to be changing, and it's going to be time where we need to connect in to our soul level, our soul, to know what we need to do and understand that. And we have more of a chance to do that now than ever. Also, the changes that are happening, the earth changes, are definitely affecting people in different ways. We can say that whatever your vulnerable spot is, whatever you have issues with, will be intensified. It will be, with all these changes coming, and the solar flares and the veil thinning and all these different things that are happening with the planet, and our DNA changing and everything else. It's the bodies are much more vulnerable to becoming ill in the areas that are the weakest, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it's important to just really notice that, know your body really well, take care of it, and know what your weak spots are, and try to work on those, because they need to be fortified and strengthened up for these changes that are taking place. Stomach issues and digestive issues seems to be one of the vulnerable spots for many people. Mm-hmm. Such as also is joints, joint pain. Seems to be another vulnerable spot for the actual body to be feeling pains in the joints and the knees and issues like that. So that's another spot where these earth changes are affecting people. So it's important to take care of that. But definitely the systems, the body systems are definitely being affected by this with the changes. And also we need to also look at the outside influences, the outside negative influences of chemtrails, poisons in the sky, of
Yes.
the electro Wi-Fi equipment that's in the house. There's all kinds of different things that are affecting the bodies that have never been there before. Bodies are adjusting. Your bodies are very, very tough and very good at adjusting, but there's a lot happening at one time, which is affecting people in many different ways. So just to let that there's some vulnerable spots that people need to start taking care of. And again, the digestive, the things that we said will probably be very beneficial, and also to not allow the stress to just settle in that area, and to be able to relax and look into exercises that will keep that area just kind of relaxed and calm, rather than tight and stressed. But yes, it's also very important to, again, go inward and find out personally what, this is a time when everybody can actually do that, and can actually discover, as they go inward, they can discover things about themselves. And it's a good way to practice and to do that, and to listen to what you hear and get the information for yourselves too.
Very, very cool. That's very helpful. Just through meditation and other
practices? Yes, for finding a time in a day to be quiet and to just quiet yourself. And when people use the word meditation, sometimes it gives a negative connotation because people feel they have to be doing a certain thing to do that, but it's not that. It's just quieting the mind enough to be able to have thoughts come in and ideas come in, and asking questions, asking questions to your higher self, asking questions to your guides. They can answer for you, and to listen to what you hear, in your head, and to just listen to that. And you know your own body, so you can listen to that and understand what they're saying, and just work on that yourself, and to be able to come up with your own answers.
Okay, that's awesome. Along these lines, is there any dietary changes that she can make that will also help her with this? Or if it's universal that everybody can make that would help them? Because I've been hearing this digestive problem a lot in my sessions. So if there's personal or universal advice, that would be great.
It's important. Again, the body's changing, the body's becoming lighter. It's important to start eating lighter, whether it be whatever. Everybody is different, and so it's an individual thing. But whether it be lightening up by just eating smaller meals during the day, instead of 3 heavy meals or 2 heavy meals or whatever people are doing with that, eating maybe just healthier, smaller meals throughout the day. To keep that constant, and not to have that pressure and that heaviness in the stomach. Also, what you're consuming. It's important to start looking at that now, and instead of just eating the normal way you might eat, might have to change along with the way the light body is becoming lighter, and changing in that direction. So. The vibration is becoming higher of the bodies. The body vibration is becoming higher, and the higher the vibration of the body, the less heavy substance it needs, the less heavy foods it needs. So it's important to just again, the liquids are very important. So instead of maybe reaching for food, if you're hungry, to reach for something to drink that's healthy, a healthy product, healthy water. So it's important not only to how much you consume, but what it is you're consuming, to make sure it's of good quality and healthy, and doesn't have chemicals in it. That also is another problem that is interfering with the bodies, with the DNA of the bodies. All these chemicals that are now being put into foods are poisons to the body, and the body rejects it. The body just doesn't accept it, and the body talks back to it, and that's some issues people are having too. Also, very much with joints hurting. That could be a very food oriented thing too. Allergies. People are having allergies, allergic reactions to these things. So there's so many things to look at. But yes, the lighter the food, the healthier the food, the more organic and raw the food is. And every body is different, so it can't be a one thing for everybody. Some people, meat is fine for them. Other people cannot digest meat. So it really is an individual thing to look at your body and what your body feels good. So it's an experiment basically to see how is my body changing and what makes my body feel good when I eat it.
Okay, that's helpful. How are you doing with the chakras? How are the chakras coming along?
Okay, they are working on them. They're opening up some. They're definitely working on some blocks that they can work on. They're doing that, and yeah, they're doing for me what they normally do for other people. They're doing all that work, but I'm just not seeing it because I'm speaking. So, they are definitely working through the system, and getting everything going and moving again, and doing the flush, and they're doing just pretty much the basics. That they do for people now.
So should we still go ahead with the body scan, or should we let them do their work?
I think that's good to let them do their work. They know what to do. She knows what they do. So I think that we touched on the issues that she's having, which are being worked on and helped. And I think that they're willing to just go ahead and keep working on her. And as they said, they work on her when she doesn't know it. She's not aware of it. So yes, I think she's good with that. And they're good with helping her with that. So that's what they're saying.
Okay. Well, one little tidbit I'd like to throw in just to make sure it gets addressed is she wants to know if she can have more DNA activation. Is the first question.
Okay, yes. What are they saying? Yeah, that's something that's, again, with this new timeline, they're saying with this new timeline shift, that is something that's happening for people. Their DNA is actually, the strands of DNA that have been dormant for so long are starting to become activated, and that's why people are becoming more aware and alert of what's happening around them. There's been a lot of DNA strands that have been asleep, so to speak. These are starting to wake up. So for her in particular, with her question is yes, we can definitely start activating her DNA. She has, being that she has the ability to communicate as she does, she has strands of DNA that are activated already that some don't. Because that has been activated for her to do this work. So yes, that's already been in place. But we can definitely work on activating the other strands of DNA that are being that everybody actually is being made aware of, and again, it is all part of the shift, part of this this rising vibration that we're going through. That this has to happen for those that are going to stay here.
And then the next part of this question is protection from the chemtrails, from the Wi-Fi, from these 5G networks. Is there something that you can do to protect her from all of this junk that we're being bombarded with? Can she have a little bubble put around her, maybe, or something?
Yeah, yes, that's a good idea. As they're saying, as they work on her, that is something that they will put in. They will put in the protection for her. I see them right now putting like all this white light, all around the body, and allowing this white light to just pretty thick all around her body, which is going to allow some protection from outside influences. But the protection also has to come from inside. The inside workings of the body, the systems of the body. So you can protect the outside influences from coming in, and that is just the different layers of energy levels that can be protected, which is good because that if you go through the body and the different energy levels outside of the body, with having no holes there, having no gaps, nothing that the negative influences can seep in. That's really good to do that mentally for yourself, to protect that and strengthen that up. And then also then the inside, to have that being worked on, to have all the innards of the body, to the workings of the body to be protected from any harm, from all these chemicals and all these things that are bombarding the insides of our body, the foods we eat. So yes, there's two different things there. They're showing me two different things. protecting the outside from the outside influences coming in, to have that a strong layer around you, and to also protect from the inside, to keep you healthy from the things that might have seeped in somehow. So
Okay. Perfect.
that's being done, yes.
Thank you. She wants to know if she will have the opportunity to meet her off-planet human friends and family.
Well, she had physically meeting, she has not done yet. She has mentally, telepathy wise, met them, spoken to some of them. She knows that. But there's also people here in her soul family that are with her, that she knows very well, that have been definitely off planet with her. But yes, when the time comes, which again we say soon, no dates, no specific dates, but it will come to the point that we will have the opportunity, if we choose, and not just her but others too, to meet their soul families and to interact. It will be given to us. We'll have helpers, we'll have people, we'll have aides, so to speak, that will be here, that will help us to be able to make this transition. It's down the road. There's a lot of things that have to happen before that actually happens, for people to be at the right vibration for that to happen, at the right frame of mind for that to happen. So there are issues and things that have to be put in place for that to be actually reality, of actually meeting our off-planet friends. But we're getting there. They actually are amongst us. We will be very surprised to find out how many off-planet beings are living amongst us right now. There are hundreds of thousands of them here. They're here to guide us, to help us, to do what they can on planet. So it's very interesting if you are astute enough to be able to be aware of that and kind of feel that and resonate with that, and feel if you see somebody that you might feel might be off planet. It was an interesting little game to play, so to speak, they're saying. Yeah, there are many here helping us right now, that are with us. So
who are not necessarily star seeds, but have actually
who have actually come from another planet at this time.
Pretending to be just normal everyday folks.
Yes, they laugh at your word pretending. They're laughing at that word pretending to be normal. They find that rather funny. They're saying that's cute. But yes, they are pretending to be human. They are yes amongst us. They are with us. They look like us, just maybe a little different. But you couldn't really tell if you were just looking. There are many off-planet humans that look just like us, that you would not be able to tell, except for just maybe something a little different that might strike you as being just a little bit more perfect, let's say, maybe even. So that would be a clue. But besides that, yes, they are here. They're the scouts, so to speak. They're here kind of just holding space, for all of the goodness, for all of the light workers, for all of the light coming into the planet, and it's very good. It's a great thing. So we need to thank them and honor them for being here and putting up with all of this for us to do this. So
yes,
that's just what they're saying to me, is just that it's very important work for them, and they had to have a lot of skill and guts, so to speak, to come here and do this. They're here to help. So but besides that, yes, there will be a time when we will be able to, when we are ready to see and know, there will be a time that we will have that opportunity to meet our brothers and sisters from other places, and it will be great. It will be a wonderful reunion. They're saying that it will be a blessing to all involved.
Oh, that's so cool. That's exciting.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. Thank you for that. So she has been told by James Gilliand that, I think it's pronounced Baguette, of the feline species is her protector. Is this true? Is she still with her?
Yes, she definitely is interesting. She's during this for this time. She is for the work that she is doing now. She is Bagheet is there to protect her with this work, with the work she's doing. So she is there to make sure that she doesn't get herself in trouble or go on the wrong path or meet the wrong people or whatever. She is definitely protecting her in what she's doing now for her work. It may not be forever. It hasn't been before, but now is the time that she's there for this work that she's doing and needs to do in the future. So she's there as she's really good at just I see her like fighting off anything that would be negative or bad or
Mm-hmm.
a bad influence or whatever. Just kind of keeping that clear, keeping the aura around her clear for the work she's doing. But yes, she is there. She has a purpose. She helps others, and it's just another off planet being that is doing the work, that is chosen to do the work to help us. And many of us have, especially light workers, many of us have that being done for us now, being protected and guided and helped by off-planet beings that are chosen to be with us at this time.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So they're working on that now, and they'll continue to do that. Yes.
Perfect. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Good.
So her last question is there anything else that she needs to know that she didn't ask?
She just needs to know that there's like a big group around her, that is there to help her and guide her and protect her. She has guides. She has people from the other side that have passed. She has a group around her that is really helping her and protecting her, and she needs to know that. It would help her to know that, and that she really does need to. The main thing is to open up and just start exploring more of what she can do to help, she herself needs to spend more time going inward, and taking the time to meditate or whatever it may be, to start connecting in. It's time for everybody to do that, but she needs to do that also. It's important for her to start doing that more than she does, to take the time to do that, to utilize the time that she has wisely, to not waste time would be good for her to know. And just think in a day's time, what is important to get done today, what needs to be done, what would benefit me, myself, and what would benefit others in the same way. So that's something that on a daily basis to ask yourself, and she should ask herself, every morning. Just what should today hold? What good can I learn, and what good can I give out? Really a good way to live life right now. To take what you need to take, but to give back what you also should be giving back. So that's important. It's important to help others right now, and gear up for that again. Just gear up for what's coming and the important work you need to do. So yeah, go more inward and start listening more to what needs to be done, and how to spend your day wisely.
Okay. Perfect. And anything else? Is that it?
Just we want to tell her to continue on. Just continue on doing what she's doing. She's doing well. She's probably helping more than she realizes. And she needs to continue doing her work, and she needs to expand what she, in the way she can, as it's going to be given to her, to create a bigger circle, so to speak. So we need to help her with that, and we will.
Perfect. Thank you so much.